In this video, we are going to look at trigonometry of grade 12. We are going to look at trigonometric ratios and how to answer the questions on trigonometric ratios without using a calculator, but using a diagram. All right, so we're going to look at 5.1. It says 5.1, given sine beta is equal to 1 over 3, where beta is between 90 and 270. So that is the important information, so I'm going to highlight it. So first we have here that sine beta is positive 1 over 3, and then beta is between 90 and 270. That is important for us to know where to draw our triangle in our diagram, okay, or in a Cartesian plane. So sine beta is 1 over 3. So if you use that information, first I'm going to start first with SOHCAHTOA. We know that SOHCAHTOA so this helps us to know the trigonometric ratios and which side of the triangle will be for that trigonometric ratios. So SOHCAHTOA, we know that S stands for sine. So if we talk about theta, then it is sine theta. O for opposite. So opposite over H stands for hypotenuse. So that is for the first part of SOHCAHTOA. So this part here, that is sine opposite over hypotenuse. And then we have again C stand for cos. So this C here stand for cos theta. Is A stands for adjacent, and then H stands for hypotenuse. And then lastly we have T. So this T here stands for tan theta, and then O stands for opposite. So that is opposite over hypotenuse. That is a simplified way to remember how to use trigonometric ratios, okay? So we know that opposite will always be x. So opposite, just note that opposite will always be, y, and then hypotenuse will always be represented with r, and then the same adjacent will be represented with x, and then hypotenuse again r, and then lastly opposite again we said y, and then so I did a mistake here. It's supposed to be adjacent, not hypotenuse. SOHCAHTOA. So that is supposed to be A here, okay? So that is hypotenuse. That will be adjacent, opposite over adjacent. So it's supposed to be y over x. So that is y over x there. So that is SOHCAHTOA. So yeah, briefly is for us to remember the trigonometric ratios and then which side to use and all that, right? So now let's answer the question. So okay, let me remove this. So with this, we have here the information given to us. That is where we're going to draw a diagram. So it says that sine beta is 1 over 3. So like I said, sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So meaning that opposite, we know that is y, and then hypotenuse is r. So we have here y over r, and then this will be our diagram. But now we need also to know that sine beta is 1 over 3, positive 1 over 3. So positive, sine is positive where? In which quadrant? So we're going to draw that quickly using cast. We know that cast will help us to know which quadrant to draw the diagram. So cast stand for C stand for cos again, and then A stands for all of them, which means that sine, cos, and tan in A, and then sine, S stands for sine, and then T stands for tan. So in first quadrant, this quadrant here, all of them, sine, cos, and tan are all of them positive. And second quadrant, only sine is positive, and third quadrant, only tan is positive. And then fourth quadrant, only cos is positive. So according to the information given in 5.1, sine is positive. So meaning that first quadrant and the second, so first quadrant, this quadrant here, and the second quadrant qualify. But which one do we need to consider? So according to the second statement, it says beta must be between 90 and 270. So if you use this diagram again, so this is 0 degrees always, and then this will be 90 degrees, and then this is 180 degrees, and then this is 270 degrees, and then back to 360 degrees. So if the second statement says that beta must be between 90 and 180, so the first quadrant will not qualify because the first quadrant is less than 90. So meaning that the correct quadrant to draw our diagram is the second quadrant. Okay, so we're going to use that. So I'm just gonna quickly draw the diagram now. So we have here the diagram, and then we know that everything must be on the second quadrant. All right, so according to the information that we have is sine beta over 1 over 3, meaning that our y will be 1, and then our r will be 3, hypotenuse will be 3, and opposite will be 1. And then of course this will be this is the angle beta. Okay, so now we need to find the third side, which is the adjacent side. That is this side, adjacent side. So we're gonna use Pythagoras for that. So Pythagoras for x will be x squared will be r squared minus y squared. So y, our r is 3 squared, and then minus 1 squared. So this will give us 9 minus 1 is 8. That is equals to x squared, but we are looking for x, so we just take the root. When you take the root, we know that it's going to be plus or minus root of 8. Anytime when you take the root in both sides, it will always be plus or minus. So, but we have to now go back to the diagram. In second quadrant, x is negative. So meaning that the correct answer for x will be negative root of 8. Okay, so that is the value of x. So now I'm just going to put that diagram in, so we can just replace here the value of x with negative root of 8. So that is our diagram that we are going to use. This is the diagram here that we are going to use to answer the questions. This diagram here. Just remember that x is the negative root of 8. So when I answer the question, I can also put that here to just simply, okay. So this is the diagram to simplify. Okay, yeah. So this is the triangle. So this will be x will be negative root of 8, and then if this is beta, and then hypotenuse will be 3, and then y will be 1, or opposite side will be 1. Okay, so we can also just use that information here to answer the questions. Okay, so now answering 5.1.1. So the question there says, without using a calculator, determine each of the following. 5.1.1. So 5.1.1 cos beta. So cos, using this diagram, or this diagram, cos is adjacent over hypotenuse. So adjacent is negative root of 8 over hypotenuse, which is 3. So the answer for this question is will be what? Will be negative root of 8 over 3. So that is the answer for 5.1.1. And then 5.1.2 is sine 2 beta. So 5.1.2 is a sine of 2 beta. So that is 2. We don't have 2 beta in our diagram. We only have beta, not 2 beta. So, but we know there's a Kraitov identity that we use, which is for double angle, which is sine 2 beta. This is the trigonometric identity that I'm talking about. So that is will be equal to 2 sine alpha multiplied by cos alpha. So I'm just going to use that to break it down to one angle, right? So we have 2 sine beta multiplied by cos beta. Cos beta. So now that we have one angle, not double angle, so we can simply substitute sine beta. So 2 sine beta is opposite over hypotenuse, so that is 1 over 3 according to our diagram. And then cos is adjacent over hypotenuse, that will be negative root of 8 over 3. So you just use your calculator to get the answer for that. So that will be 2 then 1 over 3 multiplied by a negative root of 8. That is negative root of 8 over 3. So when you use your calculator, that gives you negative 4 root of 2 over 9. Okay. So that is the answer for 5.1.2. And then 5.1.3, the question says determine cos 450 degrees minus beta. So that is a double angle, cos 450 degrees minus beta. Okay, so with this is a double angle, but once you have any angle greater than 360, we can just reduce that angle by subtracting 360 from 450. So you just say 450 minus 360, and then that gives you 90. So in place of 450, you're gonna put 90 there. So it's gonna be cos of 90 degrees minus beta. So we just replace 450 by 90 degrees because we just subtract 360 from 450. Okay, so now that we have this, we can use double angle formula from grade 12. So this says, this is the formula that we're going to use here. Okay, so this is the formula here that we are using. Okay, so we just use that formula for double angle. So this will be cos 90 degrees multiplied by cos beta minus, but because there is minus between those two angles, this minus here, we have to put plus for this, so it's gonna change to plus, and then we say sine of 90 degrees multiplied by sine of beta. Okay, so cos of 90 is 0. So cos of 90, we know that is 0, and then multiply by cos of beta plus sine of 90 is 1, and then sine of beta multiply by sine of beta. So anything multiplied by 0 will be cancelled, will become 0. So anything multiplied by 0 will fall out. And then we're left with 1 multiplied by sine beta, which is sine beta. So that will give us only sine beta, because 0 multiplied by cos beta will be 0. Okay, so now sine beta. What is sine beta? Using the diagram again, that is opposite over hypotenuse. That is 1 over 3. So that is the answer for this question, 1 over 3. Or you can use a simple method. You can use the grade 11 reduction formula, which says that if you have cos of 450 degrees minus beta is equals to, first you do the same thing that we did, which is to reduce 450 by subtracting 360 from it, which will give you what? Cos, and then you will get 90 degrees minus beta. So now that you have this, you can use reduction formula. We know that cos 90 degrees, when you use reduction formula from grade 11, this will become what? This will become sine, positive sine beta. So using this grade 11's formula, which says that if you have cos of 90 degrees minus alpha or beta, that will give you sine. This is the formula that I'm referring to, from grade 11. We know that 90, because of 90 degrees, cos will change to sine, and then it will become positive sine, right? So that is the formula there. So with that, you answer sine beta using the diagram again will obviously be opposite over hypotenuse, which is 1 over 3 in this case.